What is going on, everybody? BobbyFi with my man Eric Tabor. We have an unusual schedule today because of the league is unusual. So the earlier games, I have to go to a doctor, so I'm not going to be available. So Sheets, I'm going to give a couple minutes to just say maybe some early slate thoughts, and then we're going to jump into the main slate on DraftKings and talk about FanDuel as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty well prepared tonight for both slates. The other thing I wanted to say is that is for yesterday. I mean, I got over aggressive with not paying attention, but I didn't respect the weather as much as Colorado. So I had a real good shot. I was set up nicely on FanDuel. As you guys might remember, I advocated paying down for Patrick Corbin on FanDuel, and he was great. I mean, great enough for his price. You know, he got his quality start, didn't give up anything, and I had my one-off with Alex Dickerson hit a home run. Okay. And I had like a good one-off in this catcher first base spot, and every other spot in the lineup was game stack in the Colorado game. so that didn't work out, but yeah. So let me give you a quick update on today on the early slate, because I did actually do a little bit of work on it. If you do see this in time, and we still have like 3 hours before it starts. Okay.
Right.
So I do like Scherzer at the top, and Danielson Lamet is coming off of the injury list. I'm presuming he gets full run. I'm not sure. I mean, I have to look at that. But my SP2 is either going to be paying up for him or paying down for probably for Kenta Maeda as the second pitcher. And my favorite hitting on the slate, if you do play this on DraftKings, which is going to be Houston, Angels, Colorado, Washington, San Diego. Whoa, is that you or me?
No, that's not me.
That's not you?
No.
I have no idea what that is at all. Oh, I do know what it is actually.
There you go.
So on FanDuel, I like Houston, LA, San Diego, and Washington. So if you do see this anytime before then, you want to just throw something in. That's what I like. I mean, Scherzer's obviously the top spend pitching wise, and he's going to be really popular. But that's where I'm at. So you want to go and do the main slate?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So let me get up a thing. DraftKings, MLB, main, just to give a 6:10 p.m. Watch that start time, everybody.
What's that?
The start time is different than ever.
Oh, the 6:10 p.m. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, and you mentioned that yesterday. So see what's funny, when Bobby and I were speaking offline before, I said, so we're gonna do the early slate, right? And he says, no, not really. We're gonna do the later one. I'm like, the later slate's awful, right? And so let's talk about it. I mean, what kind of pitching do you like here? I mean, this whole slate is a disaster.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those kind of slates can be fun.
Okay.
So I like. I also think you can go fairly chalky with your pitching. I also don't think you need to stack, but I do think I will be stacking because the weather is a little bit of a thing, and it's not the weather. Well, the weather is a thing in Boston. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
But they're not playing.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they did. And then you've got the other extreme weather, though, the other way, where it's just really cold everywhere else. And it's really hard not to have some interest in some of these other guys. So I don't know. I don't know for sure who's going to end up pitching for Detroit. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But it would be probably if it's Anderson for them, I would be interested in him. Peterson, and my other main pitcher here is going to be Molly, but we can go game by game if you want to. Those are just my main starters. Oh, yeah. And Savali, sorry, even though he's overpriced.
He sure is.
But what do you need to save money for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you need to spend exactly for?
That's true.
And it's not just that the matchup's pretty good. It's like, it's really, really looking pretty ugly out there weather-wise. So I do think he gets
what's the weather in Chicago?
It's wind blowing in 5 miles an hour and it's 38 degrees.
Because my favorite pitcher on the slate is Peterson.
I said Peterson already. Yeah, he was.
Oh, I know that. Oh, okay, yeah. So my favorite pitcher on the slate is Peterson, and my second favorite pitcher. Well, I guess you want to just get some as we go, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right. So White Sox, Cleveland. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I think I don't like Savali. I don't. I'm not. I wouldn't like him at 8K. And I don't want him at 10-1. I'm not doing it. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm also not that into the hitting either, though. Like you said, I mean, maybe this is one of those slates where, like you said, that a full stack is just not gonna do it. But I identify kind of like three main teams, and White Sox and Cleveland were not one.
Yeah. I don't think you can play these guys like I know I said that yesterday about the A's and the 7-inning game, and of course they actually did well.
Yeah.
But this is basically like
it's a 7-inning game too. This one?
No, you have wind blowing in from left field. It's third. By the way, I can't believe Manaea was 3% owned only last night. It's 37 degrees with the wind blowing in 11 miles an hour from left field. I just couldn't bring myself. The only guy I could use here because he can steal bases also, and he's affordable and you can spend up, is Jose Ramirez. But I actually do think you can play Savali just because I don't think there's that many good options. And so he'd be one of the 4 guys I'd consider using.
Okay. And no hitters from this game.
No hitters from there for me.
All right. Next game, Atlanta, New York. It's funny. I actually, believe it or not, I went out before. So early. I went out, actually played 7 holes of golf like before work today. I went out there and it was raining, but then it got sunny. Then it was raining. Then it got sunny. It was threatening to storm, and then so all day you're getting that. That's the Mr. Sheets weather report. Is that it's probably going to be okay by the end of the day, but it's a really weird weather around here. I'm presuming that there's no issues. So that's the Sheets weather report. Short sleeve today. I'm not too interested in either pitcher. Now again, you asked me this rhetorically. Well, hold on. I'm going to get to that. Before the last time we talked about this, hey, is it possible that Kluber's not done? And I said, I don't know, man. And then the next thing I did is about this game, I'm looking at Ian Anderson, and with the lack of, and I'm kind of talking this through, with the lack of, I think, really, really great pitching. I mean, you do want to go for strikeout upside, and he's a righty, and the Yankees have all kinds of righties that can strike out. So maybe Anderson is probably maybe that's going to be one of my top 3 pitchers. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say that Anderson's going to be one of my top 3 pitchers. And then yet, on the other hand, I think the Yankees and Atlanta are 2 of my favorite hitting teams. So This game is going to be a key game for me, I think.
Yeah, the thing about Ian Anderson is I don't know when we decided that he just sucks. Like, I don't think he does. And he doesn't give up a ton of hasn't been getting into a ton of damage early in his career. And I still like the Yankees a lot today. But I get the argument for Anderson. And I honestly think there's an argument for Kluber too. You've also got wind really blowing out here. It's maybe 48 degrees or whatever, but
it is. I tell you, it is blowing. That I'll promise you.
If it's going to blow 20 miles an hour out to right center, I mean, let's go, Yeah, so I have the Yankees as one of my 2 favorite stacks. I don't think that that's going to be particularly unusual. And I definitely like Freeman and Albies. And I think that I'm not going to get to stack in Atlanta, but I'm open to it. It would feel really wrong not to play Corey Kluber on a short slate like this when he has his bounce back game, if he does, because I've seen him have blow up games to start seasons before. I don't know. He might really be done. Everything looks bad. Well, it might just take a little while too. A lot of pitchers pitch themselves into the season. Even Corbin last night was throwing almost 2 miles an hour harder on his fastball, I think, than he was for his first start. Anyway, yeah, I agree, and I think that you mostly want to focus on. I'm thinking, the obvious guys for the Yankees. I think that's it's the best power upside on the slate, and just seeing the weather like that, it makes you feel a little bit better. Even though it is 48 degrees, that's actually warmer than it is most places today. So yeah, the Yankees are 1 or 1A.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will throw it again. Pablo Sandoval is still 2,200.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there, by the way, is that talking about pinch hit risk. He got pinch ran for later in the game.
Yeah.
So with somebody like built like he's built, let's just be nice about it. He certainly has some risk as far as that's concerned as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Would you pay? I mean, Freeman's like really expensive.
Yeah, I'll play him. I mean, you can afford whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably, right.
It really doesn't matter. Even if you pay up for Savali, there's still just a million other ways to get different.
Okay. Arizona, Cincinnati. These are two guys that like just always seem to. It's always like the Pacers and the Pacers and the Cavs. Like Merrill Kelly and Tyler Mahle. They always seem to be pitching, and you're never quite sure whether you're supposed to play them or to stack against them. I think on this slate you'd be more inclined to play them, right? Just for lack of better options. But I can't. I'm not getting to that either. So I'm honestly kind of like very neutral on this whole situation. I'm not too into the hitting, and I'm not too into the pitching.
Merrill Kelly's not going to continue to run like God, and I mean, literally, he's just getting balls laced all over the field on him, and just not been getting there enough. Cincinnati's the number one stack today for me.
Ooh. How do you like that?
I think that it's it's close, like with them and the Yankees, especially looking at the weather like that. But you have to overspend for Naquin and Winker on both sides, and I think people will be hesitant to do that more than they should. Suarez is my favorite player on FanDuel, and I love him on DraftKings as well. Senzel is cheap and affordable and fits second base spot, which is a nice spot on over there. So I really, really like Cincinnati today. I always want to pick on Merrill Kelly, and I feel like today we're going to get a chance to.
Let's go. That we're in business.
Weather is cold, but we've got 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left also. So this is where I'm going to plant my flag sort of for the slate.
Just so you know, the guys that I have on Cincinnati, if I were to get to them, were Winker, Senzel, Suarez. I got two guys that I don't really know too much about. Farmer, India.
Yeah, India's up to a good start, but like I'm not looking at those guys.
Okay.
I don't think you need. I mean, look, it's whatever. It's fine, I guess.
And how many balls?
I'm way more interested in Tyler Naquin. Like, just play the guys who are overpaid for the guys.
Well, let me ask you a question. Like, how many good shots does Votto have to hit before people stop making fun of him?
It is interesting. I'm struggling with it myself a little bit because I've seen 3 years of this of no power. So a couple of games is going to be harder. But then again, last year he did sort of bounce back. So I don't know, man. It's you could argue for Votto, I guess.
Well, I was listening to one of the things. I don't know if this is true, but apparently there's like some narrative speaker. Apparently he came right out and said that I'm not going to choke up on the bat anymore. I'm just going to swing. I'm going to swing for power because nothing else is working for me.
Hey, you know what? That works for me. Let's play him then. You know what I mean? I don't need. It doesn't need you to talk to me a lot. And this is a guy who I used to like be absolutely in love with, and I thought was like literally one of the most underrated baseball players of all time. I thought he was just that good every year. But
and I'll tell you something else. Like you see his last three or 4 or 5 games here. I'm looking here. One of them, he basically just tattooed Bieber like on consecutive at-bats.
Yeah. I mean, it is fair enough. I mean, like, yeah, he's got 3 home runs in his last 7 games. We like the matchup.
I mean, if you like the team anyway. I mean,
absolutely. I still think he actually ends up like on FanDuel, for example, being more owned than a guy like, Naquin as the highest owned outfielder. So I'm going to do that probably. But yeah, I get behind the Votto thing for sure.
So Pittsburgh, Detroit, like you were mentioning, I wonder who's going to be pitching for Detroit. What I'm looking at here is a bullpen game. That's what DraftKings looks like. It looks like Turnbull's opening, and Skubal will be the next guy.
Could be Mitch Keller. Do we know for sure they're using Tyler Anderson in the morning? Like, we just don't know yet.
Right. Well, that's what I'm looking at right now. And then the other one I was wanting to ask you about was Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh.
Turnbull. I'm sorry. Versus him. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about Mitch Keller. I mean, he had he had promise a couple of years ago when he first came in, I think, and I don't know what's happened to him. But if the weather's going to be particularly awful and on a slate without a lot of pitching, would you consider him or not really?
It's going to be cold, but the wind is blowing out to left. I'm not using him as of right now, but maybe I'll change my mind. I need to know who's playing. I can't with doubleheaders. It's really, unless we really know what's going to happen.
Wait, so this is the first end?
I'm guessing it's not. It would have to be the second end.
Okay. Oh, right. The 3:30.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a 7-inning game, so you're not playing this game.
Oh, okay.
For hitters, obviously. I mean, look, the run total projection is 6. I get to do that every day. All right. Should we just skip Toronto and Boston? Like, I mean,
it's a shame because these would be my 2 best hitting teams on the slate.
Yeah, I think it would be for
by a lot.
I think they would be for everybody by a lot, though. So, in all maybe it would be better if they were to play somehow to skip them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, obviously keep an eye on it, but given what it looks like now, it's probably not gonna play. But if it does play, I don't like any of the pitching, and I would be inclined to play the hitting if I thought the game was gonna play. That's enough analysis of that game, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you'd be all over the hitters, and I would probably have a hard time just totally fading it.
So with the next game is interesting only because where Peterson is my favorite play on DraftKings. I don't know if we're gonna need it, but Davies is my favorite play on FanDuel at 5,700. I mean, seems a little extreme. Again, but I don't know why do you ever need $5,700 pitcher on FanDuel? That's the only thing. So that's my comment about that. Again, you said it's a kind of a hitting environment, so I do like both pitchers in this game. Well, no, I mean I like Peterson on DraftKings and Davies specifically on FanDuel.
Why don't you like Peterson on FanDuel?
I do like Peterson on FanDuel, but not as but on FanDuel I actually prefer and again this is like an issue for me. I prefer to pay down for Anderson to 7,800 or even
Anderson has a much lower chance of throwing 6 innings.
Yeah, doesn't get more. You don't get better strikeout side.
You need the 6 innings on FanDuel, and Ian Anderson has in my opinion, has a much lower chance of that. Well, he has higher strikeout upside probably. I see the wind blowing in here, and it's cold, and yeah, there's some good righties in there who are good against lefties, but I'm not afraid of it. I'm good with Peterson on both sides, but I do prefer. I think that right now, I still have Molly as my number 1, but I don't know for sure if I'm going to end up that way.
Yeah, these FanDuel just so confusing to me with the pitching. But I guess, well, you know what? I don't know. I don't see even that much. Yeah, I got Peterson like slightly better. I just like raw points than an Anderson. You know what I mean?
You should just be thinking. I mean, well, then just don't play either. Like, I'm not going to play a pitcher on FanDuel that I don't think is going to pitch 6 innings a good enough amount of the time there. It just doesn't. I just will never do it.
Okay.
Because you're just giving up you're basically giving up 3 strikeouts for the quality start and then hopefully the win.
Right.
So or 2.5. So it's it just feels like a lot.
Okay.
So the last game. Am I missing something? Is this a part of a doubleheader that I didn't see? Because why is the total only 7, 7.5? I mean, maybe it's not crazy low, but I mean, are we decided that Eunice and Waka are awesome all of a sudden? I mean, I know Waka pitched well last time out, but it feels a little weird, right?
There's got to be something with either the winds or the weather.
It's cold.
Or the something because right now, and this is why I thought this whole slate was kind of ridiculous. Was right now for me Eunice is the second best pitcher, value wise, which is ridiculous in a way. So there's got to be something going on over there. I got to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll take a look too, but I love Brandon Lau. I keep saying this every day, and I feel like he's always getting there for me. Um, I love Lau and Meadows. That's my usual spiel, and it's not any different today. I just love these guys.
Well, and that was another thing I was going to say is that I like the Tampa guys as much as I said like Eunice is going to project whatever. I like Lau, I like Meadows, I like Rosarina, I like Wendell, Dames. I mean, that's like again. I'm presuming that I'm looking at my list. I'm presuming Toronto's a no. I'm presuming that Boston's a no. And
Right.
then I have my spend up teams like Yankees and Atlanta, right? But aside from that, I mean, my next group is going to actually be both sides of this game. I like the Kansas City side, and I like the Tampa side.
I agree. I think that other than the Reds and the Yankees, this would be my next spot.
Dude, I'm telling you, you got. I think you might be onto something with the Reds. Only because I really don't think people are going to play them that much tonight. I think
it's weird that they won't. Like on FanDuel, they will more, but they won't play. I just don't see them paying these prices for Winker and Naquin, especially.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Well,
yeah. So I'm into it, and then
but you think about it, like, well, okay, so let's presume the Boston game doesn't go. That I think people again, this is what they're going to see, like kind of like what I see is that okay, there's Atlanta, there's the Yankees, and as far as other spend ups, and then again, I don't maybe the Reds. Yeah, I think the Reds might be third, might get third amount, but they're not going to be chalky or anything.
If you just look at the run total, you would think that they'd be popular or ish. But if you look at the lineup itself and the pricing, if it ends up shaking out like this, it's definitely going to be harder for the people to click those buttons. But then again, with if you take away Toronto and Boston, the ownership is going to filter in there some ways. But I think that it's a shame because I really like them anyway. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna force some Reds in there because I'm not getting them myself. But I do. I'm telling you, this is the way I've made all my money over the years. I mean, the confidence that came out of you when you like the Reds like that, I'm telling you, that's worth like seven fantasy points on my projection. Now they need to do it tonight.
What's that?
Now we need them to do it tonight. No,
see, that's the problem. That's the difference between me and like the rest of the universe. I don't care. In other words, like if I play them and they're 8% owned, I already won. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Unfortunately, that's
right. I got you.
Psychotic, I guess. But yeah. So that's pretty much it, right? I mean, I'm trying to summarize this slate. I'm back to the idea that pitching's a shit show.
But I just think the pitching, I just would ignore the prices a little bit with the pitching because you really don't need.
But even still, I mean, like I would, maybe I'm just missing something with this Aaron Savali. I mean, I didn't even know he was any good. And it's not like he's playing not that he's going against a bad team.
You say that a lot about the Indians. I think that if you look at their individual hitters outside of Rosario and Ramirez, look who are we talking about here?
Hold, stop. Savali is going against Chicago.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. I do that. This is what I keep doing lately, and I'm my bad about that.
Okay.
But I do think Cleveland's lineup in general is weak.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The reason why everybody on Cleveland is always 3K, like, you know what I mean?
No, I mean Cleveland. Look, let's call it what it is. Cleveland was much better with Lindor.
Yeah, it is bad hitting weather, but you're right. Like this offense has talent. Now they're not fully themselves, but they are talented. So, you can not play him, but whoever starts for Detroit, well, I guess if it's not a bullpen game, and I mean, then you've got the what's his name on the other side, Cincinnati, Molly. I mean, Molly's fine.
I think I'll take my chance with Peterson. I think
Peterson and Molly.
Cubs are really bad.
Peterson, Molly, Anderson. If he plays, if he ends up pitching, I don't know. I kind of like some things.
And Anderson can certainly get rocked. I mean,
oh, for sure.
The other problem also is he doesn't necessarily throw strikes all the time either.
That's right. And the Yankees are actually pretty good with play discipline, which is why I like the Yankees too.
Yeah.
I've seen them be good against good teams, including my Dodgers before. So anyway, all right. Well, I think we covered this part of the slate. Good luck to everybody playing both slates today. Sheets, we're going to be with them at 5:30 Eastern. Yes. I might be a little bit late.
I'll get everybody started and yeah, so 5:30 because there's a 6 p.m. start and then there's a 7 p.m. NBA. So we'll go 5:30 to 6:30.
I'm actually playing some NBA today because they have the huge tournament out there. Can't resist
it's no big deal. It's a very nice compact slate of 13 games?
It's so big. I don't even, I made a lineup last night, like without even thinking, and I can't.
Just put it in and close your computer. That's pretty much it.
And FanDuel won't even let me enter right now. So it's driving, that's making it easier for me to fade it. All right, guys. Well, good luck to everybody out there. Good luck, Sheets, and we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards.